Welcome to Dollars and Cents, a monthly finance podcast presented by Altra Federal Credit Union and the Leighton Media Podcast Network.
Welcome to another edition of Dollars and Cents here on the Leighton Podcast Network. I am Jason Malillo. It's the podcast where we discuss everything financial, money, dollars and cents, all of that good stuff. We try to give you tips and try to help you live a better financial life. People have a lot of questions when it comes to money and finances. Our guest this week is Anita Cisewski. She is an office manager at Altra Federal Credit Union. Anita, welcome. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in. So, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, the holiday season is coming very, very fast. Anita, it's going to be here before we know it. We're already seeing decorations out and people talking about getting ready for the holidays, so it's coming soon. And a lot of that for us with Christmas is spending money, right? We buy gifts, we buy other things. We take trips, maybe stuff like that. So on this week's podcast, we're going to be discussing holiday spending tips. So let's get right into it. Anita has given us kind of a list here. So we're going to get into some of these and kind of discuss these. I think it's going to be really helpful information for a lot of you listening out there. So first and foremost, we start with set a holiday savings plan. What do you mean by that, Anita?
Well, kind of just what it says. So first of all, I think it's important to everyone to determine like how much can you afford to spend, and have that be on gifts, on food, on decorations, anything that you're going to spend for the holidays. And obviously give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, because we know what happens. You get out there shopping and something is maybe a little bit more expensive, or you decide, oh, I just need this item too. So do your best to stick to the plan, though, and once you know how much you'll have to spend on the holidays, determine then, how am I going to get that money into that account for me? So divide it out between maybe the number of weeks that you have remaining until you need those holiday gifts and food, and put that money aside each week so you've got that built up for yourself when it comes time to do that.
Yeah, so start kind of planning for that little by little, maybe here in the weeks leading up to the holiday season would be smart.
Yep, if you haven't done it already, yes.
Yes, right.
Yep. Do
you think sometimes, we are so kind of married to gift giving, it's such a big part of the holiday season for us as Americans. Do people sometimes feel like a pressure, with that, especially if you have a big family, you feel like you got to get a gift for everybody? Do people maybe sometimes need to sort of pick and choose, or is there a way that people can kind of be bargain shoppers to maybe spend less and get more with gifts?
Absolutely. You've said a lot there. And I do feel that there is that pressure out there. And I also think, though, that more so now maybe than ever, people are finding different ways to make that happen. One of the things that you kind of led me to think about is creating experiences for your family. So going to an event together, go to a dinner together, take a trip together, whatever that might be. I think more so now than probably in the last however many years. I say this is more popular in the last couple of years, but that's what people want to do. They want to make memories with their family, because that's a lasting thing that you can hold on to.
Yeah, experiences versus stuff. I think you're right.
Exactly.
That's become more popular. And, that's something that I know. I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, and my wife and I try to impart that to our kids a lot, because they're obviously, because of our culture, they're driven by consumerism. Consumerism is such a big part of our culture. But a lot of times we'll say, hey, let's go do this instead of buying this, because we see it with kids. I think we see it with everybody. We end up with just a lot of stuff. And a lot of that stuff we don't use, or we don't use long term. So I think you're right. That's a good tip, and maybe a better place for us to put our money, because like you say, it's lasting memories. It's something that is very real, and memories, last a lot longer than some of the consumer stuff that we buy. Yeah. Second, let's move on to create a sinking fund. What is this?
So basically it's a savings. You might think of it as a mini savings account that you set up for yourself. So you set aside a small amount of money, and you can decide whether you do that weekly, biweekly, monthly, whatever fits into your budget, and save that for the holiday spending. Those little contributions that you put in there add up quickly, and they can really obviously be beneficial and help alleviate some of that stress that comes along with, needing all of that money, if you will, for those gifts and things of that nature. Yeah.
You obviously have your monthly expenses that you have to pay, rent, bills, gas, things like that. Do some people kind of maybe put aside some of the money they would spend, say, on personal things for themselves. Maybe they take that money and put it towards a gift saving account this time of year. Would that be a sacrifice that maybe some people can and will make?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think sometimes just taking a look at where you're spending your money, maybe you don't buy 2 coffees a month, and instead you put that into a savings account. I was going to kind of get into this a little bit more right at the end because I think it summarizes what we're trying to help with and what we're trying to put together here. But this is a perfect time to set up that holiday savings account for yourself. Decide if you want $200 by the next time Christmas rolls around or the holidays. Do you want $500, $1,000, $1,500? What is it that you need? And then divide it by how many times you feel you can make that deposit into that account throughout the year. And lo and behold, when the holiday comes around, you've got that money, and there's just, it, again, going to tie it back to that stress factor. It just kind of eliminates that because you've got that put aside to do those things that really mean a lot to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then you don't feel that pressure so much when the holiday season rolls around. Yeah. No, that's a great idea. Anita Cisewski is our guest. She is an office manager with Altra Federal Credit Union. We are talking about holiday spending tips. Next would be just make a list, right? Write down everyone that you need to buy for. We kind of talked about this already, but have that list, have in mind who you want to buy for and maybe what you're going to get those people and how much you're going to spend. Would that be a good idea?
Absolutely. Write it down. Try to stick to it. I know that gets hard. You get up to the counter and you've got all those little gifts that are following you all the way to the checkout. But if you really try to stick to what you've put your mind to there, it's a great way to spend exactly what you thought you were going to, not overspend, and still get yourself what you wanted for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Shop early, look for deals, right?
Shop early, look for those deals. We always have that Black Friday going on, and they really do have some wonderful sales going on. You've got Cyber Monday. Really, I think all the stores are so accustomed to having those sales just continue all the way through the holiday season. But, plan early, shop early. Some people are shopping right now. Some people have started in July. If you know the people you're buying for each and every year, you can do that. And just a great way to save some money.
Yeah, and I think we see the holiday shopping season start a lot earlier now than it did even 5 years ago, certainly a decade ago. And I think that's mainly because stores realize how important it is to their bottom line. The Christmas holiday season is what puts a lot of stores in the black for the season. But I think also for us as consumers, it can benefit us because, like you say, we can start shopping early before maybe a lot of people are and seek out some of those deals. So that's a good way to do it as well. Absolutely. This next one I love. Consider a gift exchange with limits. Now, is this putting limits like with somebody else that you're going to buy for and saying we're only going to spend a set amount?
Yep. And actually, we do that with my family. We started this, it's been quite a few years, but we draw names at Thanksgiving. And we set a limit. You can do 25, you can do 30, you can do 50, you can do 75, whatever fits with everyone else. And you purchase a gift, not even specific for anyone. And then we draw numbers. We use a deck of cards, and whoever has, one or the ace, they start out, and the other person that goes next has the option of taking that gift or picking a new one. So it's really kind of fun. Again, it creates those memories. We have a ton of fun laughing about it and just having pure fun with it. So great way to do the gift giving and not have to buy for all those people.
Yeah, no, and I love that because, again, it takes some of the pressure off of people, right? And it's kind of a way to say that you're not trying to one up somebody else or I have to spend so much because this person's going to spend so much on me. And that becomes such a snowball of pressure. So so that's another really good tip. And I love that having that fun just with the drawing, right? And just figuring it out. That's a great thing that your family does. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Next would be just to keep it simple, maybe some do-it-yourself gifts, things you can make or things you can find.
Yeah. I think we've all received that gift from someone that's made something special for you, and it just really resonates and it stays in your heart. And, a lot of times they are very much less expensive than what you're going to go out in the store and buy. And it just has that, again, that heartfelt feeling that comes along with it that means so much more. So
yeah, and somebody put effort into it.
Absolutely.
I think that's another thing too.
Yeah.
Especially and nowadays we don't even have to go out of the house to shop, right? We can just shop online. So if somebody went out, they put time into it, they made something or they found something, and they thought about your personality and how you would love that gift. So that's another really good tip. And again, saves on money potentially.
Yeah.
So with holiday meals, always a big deal for people. A lot of people get together, big family meals. That can get really expensive as well. Just buying all the stuff, cooking all the food. So you say plan meals in advance is a good thing.
Yeah, plan them in advance so that you can obviously take advantage of some of the deals and the coupons that are going to be out there, because the grocery stores do that too. They put a lot of things on sale that are needed for that holiday dinner or whatever it is that you want to have. But another nice thing there is that if you've got a larger family and you're all getting together, figure out who's going to bring what. We don't always have to do the whole thing ourselves, and that is a huge cost savings for everyone involved usually. So just making sure that you're planning it and sharing it with the whole family can be a nice way to alleviate that and have a wonderful meal.
Yeah, I think we've seen this become popular too in recent years, is people ordering a holiday meal like from Hy-Vee. They offer really the complete meal. You can get the whole thing. Is that generally cheaper than buying all the stuff yourself and making it yourself? Is it generally more expensive?
I think it depends on the size that you're dealing with. We have checked into it before and found that for everything that we wanted, it was a little bit more expensive than what we could do on our own.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it probably just depends on people's personal situation.
I think it really
how
does.
many people they're having. If you're having a huge gathering, maybe it's not.
I would say absolutely check it out though.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes it is less costly. I think it just depends on size and what you're looking for. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I agree. In addition to gifts, in addition to meals, and something maybe we don't think about the expense of is you get a gift, then you need to wrap it, then you need to put a card with it, then you need to get all the bows and the string and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So that cost can add up as well. So when you shop for that, maybe seek out some budget stores, some dollar stores, things like that, because wrapping paper is kind of wrapping paper, bows are bows. So that's a good way to kind of cut down on some costs there.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, a huge cost savings. A lot of the discount stores have the same things that are in the larger retailers, but at such a discount. And let's face it, once they get that gift, what do? They rip it open. That paper is not salvageable. So the bags are reusable too. So there's a cost savings there. But I say go to the discount stores. You can save a lot of money there.
Right. I remember the first Christmas that I spent with my wife, her and her family, they would take off the wrapping paper very carefully because they would reuse it the next year. And I'm just watching this flabbergasted because I'm like, at my house, we just rip the paper off.
Yep.
And so the first time we had kids, my wife was making them take the paper off very nice. And I'm like, no, they got to rip it off.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's part of
funny,
it.
But
that is part of it.
I suppose you can reuse the wrapping paper if you really want to, is my point. But it's fun for kids to just rip it off. So that's true too.
Yeah,
but yes, you're right. I mean, that's again one of those expenses I think we don't think about, but it does add up.
It sure
and
does.
you can really get it for a discount if you kind of seek out some of those discount shops or dollar stores or whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
Finances are tight. Start researching holiday gift programs as soon as possible, right?
Yep. There's a lot of them in the area, and the key there is to do it early. And actually, right now is probably the best or a perfect time to start. You want to do it early because there is only so many that they can usually serve. So you need to get your name on the list. You need to find out what your family needs. What do the kids need? What do they want for Christmas? And it's for adults as well. So research that early, get your name on the list. A couple of them that I'm thinking of, Toys for Kids, I believe it is. I think the Salvation Army does some stuff. You always have volunteer services. I believe that's more food-based. But, the key is to get out there, research it, find out what's available here in our area. There are programs out there that can help.
And those programs can fill up pretty quickly?
They can. There is a great need. There's a lot of families living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And, we always want to have a little something for our little ones around that holiday season. So there's a lot of use for them. So sign up early.
Yeah. Anita Cisewski is our guest here on Dollars and Cents on the Leighton Media Podcast Network. She is an office manager at Altra Federal Credit Union. We are talking about holiday spending tips on this episode of Dollars and Cents. We've gotten some really good tips here from Anita as far as creating a holiday fund, making a holiday savings plan, make a list, shop early, consider a gift exchange with limits for the people you're shopping with. Do-it-yourself gifts, make a gift, find a gift, give an experience instead of a physical gift. That's a really big one and something that can really stay as a memory for people. So some really good stuff from Anita. So Anita, just wrap this all up for us. We've talked about a lot of things. Yep. We've covered a lot of ground, but just wrap this all up for us as far as holiday spending tips. What should people know? What should they do as we get into the thick of the holiday shopping season here pretty quickly?
Yep. I think now is a great time to, I kind of said it earlier, really take a look at what do I need for my holiday spending, and, start that account now. If you don't have it set up, start it now. You obviously need to probably plan for the next couple months here, but, figure out what it is that you can do within your budget to help you with this time of year and get that savings account set up. It could be $5 a week. It could be $10, $20, whatever fits in. Maybe that is taking a look at your budget and saying, I'm not going to do the coffee. I'm not going to go out to lunch today. I'm going to do some, other things to help fund that. I guarantee you won't be sorry if you're able to do that, because you're going to have that money when it comes holiday time next year. And again, eases that stress, and it makes you feel good about what you're doing for your family.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Anita, thank you so much.
Yes.
Good luck with your Christmas shopping season, and we will talk to you next time. That is Anita Cisewski. She is a office manager at Altra Federal Credit Union here on Dollars and Cents. We were talking about holiday spending tips. And as always, for more tips on how to put together a spending plan that will work for you, you can visit altra.org. We'll see you next time here on Dollars and Cents on the Leighton Podcast Network.
Dollars and Cents is a monthly podcast presented by Altra Federal Credit Union and the Leighton Media Podcast Network. Find this and other podcasts on demand at winonaradio.com.